Welcome back. We're out for some fall walleye. I'm doing some bottom bouncing, and we thought we would show our rigs. We do bottom bouncing several different ways, and this one here is a different style of weight for your bottom bouncer, and there's no wire to it. But the reason why we like this one is because you can interchange them out. They just snap off of these clips right here. And I got 1.5 ounce here, which is good for the depth we're in. We're in about 10 to 15 feet right here. But if we want to go deeper or shallower, these just snap out of here, and you just change them out real quick with a different way. This one here is a 1 ounce. Yeah, it's a 1 ounce. You can get 2s, 2.5s. Really, it just depends on the depth that you're fishing, and then what speed you're trolling at too. And we'll show some different kind of rigs. This one here is like a double hook, kind of like a worm harness style. Honestly, not my favorite, but we thought we would show it. Trisha's got hers rigged up with a worm, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a minnow on each one. But honestly, I'm not a big fan of the double hook ones. I just find sometimes they get hooked too far back, and it's a little bit harder to release if you want to release them. I much prefer the single hook ones. A little bit bigger hook than that, a bigger size hook, but I prefer the single. We'll show some of those later on, but we'll start with this double hook one, and we'll show kind of how each one works and how we fish it. We fish quite a bit slower than a lot of people bottom bounce, and we'll just kind of show that and how it's effective for us. But we'll get going with this style. What do they call these ones? Slick sticks, they're called, like Berkeley or Northlands. Maybe Northlands makes them, but there's several different brands they make these, and they're handy because you can quickly change out the weight size, which is handy sometimes, especially if you're fishing in different depths. Bouncing, if you're starting one depth and then you want to switch to a different depth. But we'll start with this, and we'll see if we can catch a few walleyes. We want to take a few home and have a fish fry. So that's the plan for today. But I got to rig up a couple minnows and get at her. So I've got my double delicious minnows hooked up there, and a lot of times that works great for me if I use this rig with the 2 hooks. So we'll drop down, and we'll see if we can't catch ourselves a couple wallies. And a lot of times when I'm trolling, I'm not, I don't troll very fast. I find a slower troll works a lot better for us. And in general, we have a lot better luck. I find a lot of people troll way too fast when they're bottom bouncing, but everyone does what kind of works best for them. But I find a slower troll definitely works better for us. I find you can get more control. We're not very far behind the boat either. Like, I'm probably only 10 feet, 15 feet behind the boat. There's one.
Nice.
Stop us. Feel decent. I drag pretty tight.
Need the net?
I don't know. I'll see. I'll have to anchor us here.
What you got?
Feels chunky. Might need the net.
Pardon me?
Said might need the net. Or he's just scrappy, I'm not sure. That's a big walleye, or maybe a pike. Feels walleye-ish.
Shaking like a walleye.
I'll get him up here in a sec. Oh, it's chunky walleye, eh? Take that. That's a nice walleye.
Too big to keep.
Yeah. He's not coming home for dinner, is he?
Nope.
I'll get that hook out and
You got that?
I got it. Yeah. He doesn't hook too bad. I'll show him off quick. It's probably a 22, 23 inch walleye, probably. Good 22, maybe 23. But that was on the double worm harness. I'll let her go here. There he goes. Yeah, that was on the double worm harness. I actually had to switch colors on it. Am I tangled in the net there? Of course I am, but... There. Yeah, I started with a white one, and I got bit off by a pike right off the start. But yeah, that was with the double worm harness. And now we will switch to another one of our productive methods. I think we'll switch to, well, I'll see. I might switch to a rig that's called slow death roll. We have good luck on those, so we'll switch that out and get back fishing. All right, so we switched it up to kind of called a slow death roll. I think Trish, got a worm. She's got a worm. I threw the minnow back on. This is a different style of spinner, and it's designed for like what we do. Slow trolling. You can troll like really slow and you still get really good action with it. And I find the slow death roll hooks are really good because you get that corkscrew as it's going through the water, especially at a slow troll like we're doing. I think when we caught that one, we were doing 0.9, about 0.9. So we'll try this one. We're leaving the same weight on. We still got 1.5 ounce. We're bouncing between 8 feet and about 12 feet right now, and that 1.5 ounce seems to be
Good.
The right weight. We'll get us moving here first. Try and get another one. All right, we thought we'd take a quick video of the action of this. I'm only doing like 0.7 mile an hour, and you can see how we've got good action on that blade. And then you start getting that corkscrew effect. And it is really effective. It's getting a little deeper. There, got him that time. I'm going to anchor us. Feels like another. This one might be eater size. This one could be an eater size, which would be all right. Because I would like a couple for supper. There. Yeah, that might be eater size. Might have to measure him quick.
Just about whiffed on the net job. But I got him. I got it.
All right, it's about 19 inches, so it is too big for a keeper. They got to be 17 3/4, less than 17 3/4 on this lake. So let them go, and that was on that slow death roll rig, and that's actually really productive for us. More so because of this little propeller it has on it. It has. Like we were saying, it's so you can troll so slow with that, and you have that good action, and then you get going just a little bit faster. You probably need 0.8 to about 1 mile an hour, and then you start getting that corkscrew, and we find that is money. So we got one more rig. Yeah, we got one more rig. We'll show you guys one more rig. All right, our third rig. It is. I'm making a mess here. Got the slow death roll hook on it, which would be light, and then this one here, this little spinner impeller thing here, floats actually, which works good for our style of bottom bouncing. It works good for us because even if you're going slow, it's actually floating up a little bit, which is good for shallow and slow. One thing too is we don't, sometimes these have really long, I don't want to be banging around here, but really long leads on them. And I usually cut them back because you don't need that much line on them, especially for murky water, like we're fishing murky water. If you're fishing really clear water, then the longer lead works good. You keep it away from your bottom bouncer. But I usually cut these at the most. I've got like 30 inches, and some of them come with like 42, 44 inches, like really long.
48 even one of them did.
Yeah, but we find that in murkier water, you don't need that long of a lead. Clear water, yeah, you probably need that, give you a little bit of an advantage. But this here, you can see it, I'll try and show it. It actually floats. I think you can see it on my head cam. If not, just have to take my word for it. But it floats, and we find it's good for, like we said, when we're going slow, and it keeps it up off the bottom. So let's see if we can't get one with this one. So you can see there, got the weight on the bottom, and then about a foot above it is the hook. There's the weight, and the hook is floating above. Actually, it looks like there might be something small chasing it right now, but that's what we like, because it kind of keeps it up about a foot off the bottom or so. Kind of works good. There's one.
Good job.
I'm going to anchor us up a bit.
Oh, I got one on too, but mine's just itty bitty.
Mine feels a little chunky.
Do you need the net?
I might.
Okay, give me 30 seconds here.
Hopefully it's not another pipe.
Here's my little guy. That seems to be what I'm catching today. Not skunked though, so that's all right.
What do we got here? What do we got? Feels chunky. Oh, it's another
Big one.
There we
Too
go.
big for the live well.
No, can't seem to catch one for the live well. All right. It's another, just a little bit too big for an eater. It's probably an 18 and a half. It's a little bit too big.
Yeah, 20.
Oh, man, he's almost 20. He's too big to keep, unfortunately. But we're gonna keep going here. We want to get a couple for supper. Well, that was on that, let him go here quick. There he goes. And that was on that floating one again.
Oh.
I broke off, but yeah, that was on that one with the floating impeller. And it's,
Like this, but yellow.
yeah, like that one there. And so those are just a few techniques that we use, and they work good for us. That floating one, like I said, is good for when we're going slow. That one we were doing maybe 0.8 to 1 mile an hour again. And it works good. And it was definitely a minnow bite today. And every time we put a minnow on,
Yeah.
we had more action than the worms. But we can see the bait balls on the live scope and on the 2D sonar. And you can see the walleyes chasing the bait balls. So overall, it was a pretty good day. And we hope we learned a thing or two on bottom bouncers, at least what works good for us. And maybe learned a trick or two. But until the next time, we'll catch you later.
Bye-bye.